Imagine a child who wakes up every morning with a knot in their stomach, dreading the thought of going to school. Maybe they are terrified of walking past a certain group of kids in the hallway, knowing that the whispers and laughter are directed at them. Maybe they sit in class, heart pounding, too afraid to raise their hand even when they know the answer. Or perhaps they're staying up late every night, overwhelmed by assignments, expectations, and the fear of failure. Bullying, social anxiety, and academic stress are some of the most common, yet deeply impactful psychological challenges children face in school. Let's start with bullying, an issue that has existed for generations but has become even more complex in the digital age. The traditional image of bullying, physical aggression, name-calling, or exclusion is still very real. However, today's bullying often happens online, through social media, messaging apps, and group chats, making it harder to escape. Cyberbullying is particularly damaging because it can be relentless and anonymous, often leading to higher levels of anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. Studies show that children who experience chronic bullying are 2 to 9 times more likely to have suicidal ideation than those who are not bullied. One of the most heartbreaking cases was that of Amanda Todd, a Canadian teenager who became a victim of severe cyberbullying and ultimately took her own life. Her story highlighted how constant online harassment, blackmail, and public humiliation can drive a child into severe psychological distress. Research shows that bullying victims often develop low self-esteem, social withdrawal, and even PTSD-like symptoms. The long-term effects are also concerning. Adults who were bullied as children are more likely to struggle with mental health disorders, relationship difficulties, and workplace bullying later in life. But bullying is only part of the social struggle children face. Social anxiety disorder is another major issue, affecting nearly 9% of children and adolescents. Unlike simple shyness, social anxiety is crippling, making even basic interactions like speaking in class, eating in public, or joining a group activity overwhelmingly stressful. Research using fMRI scans has shown that children with social anxiety have an overactive amygdala, the brain's fear center, meaning that social situations trigger a much stronger sense of danger than in others. A well-known case of childhood social anxiety is that of Darwin Smith, the former CEO of Kimberly-Clark, who was painfully shy as a child. He struggled to speak in front of classmates and often doubted himself. However, through gradual exposure, therapy, and self-discipline, he eventually became one of the most successful leaders in corporate history. This case demonstrates that while social anxiety can be debilitating, it is treatable with the right interventions. Therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy are particularly effective for children with social anxiety. Exposure therapy, in which children gradually face their fears in a controlled, supportive environment, has been shown to retrain the brain's response to social situations. Studies show that 70% of children with social anxiety show significant improvement after CBT treatment. Beyond bullying and social anxiety, many students face academic stress, which has dramatically increased in recent years. A survey by the American Psychological Association found that 83% of high school students reported school as a significant source of stress, often citing pressure from parents, teachers, and peers. The fear of failure, competitive college admissions, and excessive homework loads contribute to rising cases of anxiety, depression, and even burnout among students. In countries like South Korea and Japan, where academic success is heavily emphasized, research has found alarmingly high rates of student anxiety and even suicide related to school performance. The Sky Castle Syndrome, named after a popular South Korean drama, refers to the intense academic pressure placed on students by their families, sometimes leading to extreme emotional distress and exhaustion. So, what can be done? Schools play a crucial role in addressing these psychological issues. Anti-bullying programs that focus on building empathy, bystander intervention, and school-wide policies have been shown to reduce bullying incidents by up to 25%. Social-emotional learning programs help children develop emotional regulation, communication skills, and resilience, which can significantly lower rates of social anxiety and peer conflicts. Academic stress, too, requires systemic change. Countries like Finland, known for their low-stress, high-performance education system, focus on less homework, more playtime, and a balanced curriculum resulting in better student well-being and academic success. Schools worldwide can take inspiration from such models to create a more holistic and less pressure-driven environment for children. At the core of these issues, whether it's bullying, social anxiety, or academic stress, is the child's need to feel safe, supported, and valued. Addressing these challenges is not just about intervention, but prevention, awareness, and creating an environment where children can thrive emotionally, socially, and academically.